Hey, this is Matt once again. What about the videos? Another paid request, this time for DavieVids. And I apologize for the background noise. There's just some noise, some fans and stuff. It's getting pretty chilly here, even in Texas as we're getting later in November. But DavieVids has another request, and this is for Uncle Sam from 1996. Thank you for that, for those interested requests in any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, reviews, re-reviews, what have you. Feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, Uncle Sam is a film I had heard of. I think I've seen once or twice before, but I haven't seen it in a long time. I know I recently got a 4K Blu-ray from, I want to say Blue Underground. I want to say it's from William Lustig, his company, because William Lustig directed this. Same guy who directed Maniac from 1980 with Joe Spinell. He did Maniac Cop 1 and 2. He did Vigilante with Robert Forster. He did some of the Relentless movies. That's a series I wouldn't mind seeing a box set, because I wouldn't mind giving a look at the sequels. Relentless 2, 3, and 4, Leo Rossi, because I've never seen them. And if they're on DVD, they're out of print. So, but yeah, William Lustig, this was the last film he did in 1996. Now, apparently on the 4K and Blu-ray, there's commentaries, like older commentaries with William Lustig and Isaac Hayes, or William Lustig and Larry Cohen. I don't know what's said on those because I don't have them. I remember hearing something that he wasn't really happy with the movie, and that's one of the reasons why he stopped directing. I don't know what the reasons were. I don't know if it was they ran out of money or the plot. Because I think they thought it was a fun enough, decent slasher film. It has its little issues here and there. It's not like My Bloody Valentine, classic slasher, but for a holiday slasher film, I thought it was a decent time. You have a lot of recognizable faces. You got, at the beginning, William Smith, who was Conan's dad in Conan the Barbarian from 1982. He was fighting against Clint Eastwood in Any Which Way You Can. He was in Maniac Cop. He's been in other stuff. Sadly, a lot of people involved with this have passed away, like William Smith, Isaac Hayes, who's in this film. Robert Forster has a little appearance. I don't know if Bo Hopkins is still around. He might not. Larry Cohen, who wrote the film. Larry Cohen is a very talented director and writer who did films like The Stuff, this little bit right here, To the Winged Serpent, helped come up with ideas for Phone Booth and Cellular with Chris Evans. Very talented guy, and again, he wrote the Maniac Cop films and wrote this, and then William Lustig directed it. But sorry, Larry Cohen has passed away. Who else? PJ Souls makes an appearance. Very small appearance. So there's a lot of recognizable people if you watch enough of these movies. And I actually don't mind the idea. The idea of this soldier was killed in Kuwait by friendly fire, and he's brought back home for the funeral, but he comes back from the grave and he kills people, and this takes place around 4th of July. He kills people that are too unpatriotic. And apparently his real name is Sam, and he's this, our lead is this little kid, and the guy was his uncle, thus Uncle Sam. And you find out that Sam was not the nicest person. He was a real piece of crap growing up. That you get the idea that he abused his own sister and abused his wife, and just a real piece of work. And he fought for his country, but he loved killing. And so, something that evil dies, doesn't truly stay dead, and has come back and has this thing where he kills people that are against the American way and the patriotic way. I thought that's a kind of a fun, unique idea, at least for a holiday movie. The way the look of the film is not too bad. certain widescreen shots showcasing the town and the 4th of July festivities. I mean, it doesn't look like a cheap film because you compare this to like a lot of films nowadays that goes direct to streaming. A lot of them look pretty cheap. It's not wall to wall gore. There's little gore here and there. There's a decapitation. There's other kills. Someone gets hanged. Someone gets buried. Someone gets blown up by fireworks. But you don't see a lot of gore in that. Probably the best gore is a guy gets impaled with a flagpole. And that's the thing, it's interesting to see these kind of other 4th of July type of stuff utilized. And like I said, there's some really nice details. I mean, the way the opening credits, it's all this old footage of Uncle Sam, I want you in the army, all this old footage of your people playing Uncle Sam, and these films back in the day to promote the war, as in buy bonds and fight for your country, all this stuff. Propaganda footage, that's what I'm getting at, and old cartoons. He gets the Uncle Sam outfit because there's a guy who's like a peeping Tom, so you get a little bit of nudity. There's this guy who's a peeping Tom wearing the Uncle Sam outfit, but he's walking on stilts. At one point he falls down, and the guy kills him. Sally's a cutaway, and I think that's one aspect. This could have used a bit more gore. Now, gore doesn't make a film, trust me, but I think that this could have used a little bit more gore, a little bit more bloodshed. The lead kid, I'm 50-50 with him. Sometimes he's fine, and sometimes he comes off as a serial killer. Like, when I first saw the kid, I'm like, he had like a weird serial killer vibe to him. But other moments he's fine, so I'm kind of, again, 50-50 with him. Isaac Hayes has a pretty decent part in this. I liked his character of Jed, who is a sergeant who has a wooden leg from the war, and not the Kuwait War, but a previous war. And apparently he had talked to Sam when he was young, and Sam kind of listened a bit too much and went into the service. I kind of wish the entire film was from Isaac Hayes' point of view and not the little kid's point of view, because I do like Isaac Hayes. I miss Isaac Hayes. I know William Lustig. I did see an interview on YouTube, and he said that Isaac was a pleasure to work with, and that even on set they would sing the Shaft theme song, or I guess like Isaac would sing backup, and he let William Lustig sing the song. But like I said, I kind of like the 4th of July patriotic vibe and motif to it. How, for the most part, he's going after people's unpatriotic. Like, this teacher is found dead with an axe in his head. And we learned earlier that he had ran off. Instead of going to Vietnam, he had ran off because he was opposed to the war. Again, there's one guy who butchered the national anthem, so he gets his comeuppance during a sack race and gets his head cut off. So yeah, there's it's a fun enough motif and gimmick for a slasher film. Some people may think the Uncle Sam outfit is a bit goofy, and they got a point, because it's not a scary look. The Uncle Sam outfit is, a goofy look. But at the same time, the movie does have a tongue-in-cheek quality to it. It's not meant to scare you. It is meant to be more of a fun movie. Now, I will say there's certain aspects of the film that I thought was a bit janky. Like I said, the lead kid, I'm 50-50 on him. Not the best kid actor I've seen, not the worst kid actor I've seen. Like I said, initially he gave like a killer kid vibe. But then I guess I warmed up to him a little bit. Isaac Hayes was good. I wish he was in it even more. But he did some good stuff at the end to be the hero of the piece, which is nice. There's not many times Isaac Hayes got to have that type of role. Great to see Robert Forster in there, but I wish he was in the film more. I mean, if maybe at most 5 minutes, because he's such a good actor. I wish it was like him and Isaac Hayes working together. Like Robert Forster's maybe retired sheriff, while this new sheriff is, oh, they got him because he's the younger guy, and they think he's more fit, but he's more of an asshole as well, and more corrupt without them knowing it. So it's like you have Robert Forster's retired sheriff and Isaac Hayes, and they're buddies, and maybe they were war buddies, and those two going after Uncle Sam, I think would have been really cool, instead of the whole kid thing. But they wanted the kid because it's his Uncle Sam, the whole thing, and kid being in trouble. But I'm just saying, I wish Robert Forster, because I miss the guy, great in Alligator from 1980, great in a lot of movies. I wish he was in the film more. I wish he was utilized a lot more. And I wish I didn't like, he's a retired sheriff or something. Maybe take a little bit of The Town That Dreaded Sundown, where you had two cops going after a killer, but then have the goofy 4th of July gimmicky aesthetic. And then the town knows what's going on, and we got Camps festivities, and then they're on the lookout. There's another guy in Uncle Sam outfit. He's too high, he didn't catch the idea. I think there's more that could have been done with it on that aspect. Maybe a little bit more gore, a little bit more Silent Night, Deadly Night in terms of kills. Like I said, I like that some of the kills do have to deal with the 4th of July thing. Hanging someone, like you pull up a flag to the flagpole. Like I said, the best death I think is a guy getting impaled on a flagpole. This one aspect, getting more into spoilers, that I didn't understand. Someone can explain this to me. What's up with the blind kid? They throw this blind kid in a wheelchair in there, and I have no idea why he's in it. It feels like either there's more about this character they cut out, or something else was supposed to be done with this kid. Because there's a kid who is the son of PJ Soul's character, and he's scarred up because of, I guess, a firework incident. He shows up like 50 minutes in the movie, and the movie's only like 90 minutes long. Which is another good thing. Pretty fast paced. It's not boring. It goes by very quick. But what's the deal with, like, this is a blind kid. Okay, he's burned up with fireworks. At times they leave him alone. Seems like all the time they leave this blind wheelchair bound kid alone for anyone to do anything. And then immediately Uncle Sam goes towards him, touches his scar, and goes, "You see what I am more than any of these people who have eyes." And okay, just because he got a scar on his cheek, I mean, just the firework. I mean, I get that Uncle Sam is patriotic, but I also didn't think he was a sentimental type to feel bad for this kid. So that was a bit confusing. And also, it seems like this kid is psychic at times. But he's like, "I knew it was your Uncle Sam." How did you know? The guy didn't say it. But this kid just knew certain things. I guess he is meant to be blind, right? Is that why the sunglasses? Or is he meant to, like, he's trying to hide, maybe his eyes are fucked up and he's trying to hide with the sunglasses. I was assuming he was supposed to be blind, but he's like a blind psychic kid. Like, why is this in the movie? Why is this a part of the movie? It feels like put in a third draft, just gotta have something else. And there's no reason for him to be there. He doesn't really do anything. I guess for him to be the exposition to tell the kid he's your Uncle Sam. That's the only reason he's there. There's really no other reason. He doesn't really do anything. He can't do anything. He's a blind kid in a wheelchair. So, and it's not like psychic enough. Like he's behind you, as Charles Xavier style. Just I don't know. Like that whole thing could have been completely taken out. So take out the whole weird kid blind psychic thing. It didn't bring anything to the proceedings. Amp up a bit of the gore and bloodshed. Do a bit more of a body count with a bit more crazy gore bits. Instead of the kid, again, have Isaac Hayes be the lead, or have Robert Forster, Isaac Hayes be the leads. But like I said, despite those little nitpicks, I did enjoy the film for what it was. Like, to repeat myself, I thought it was fast-paced. I thought it has a lot of nice recognizable cameos. Isaac Hayes, let's see, got a bit of a bigger part. Because his isn't a cameo, his is a bigger part. And I thought he had some decent moments. Like him being regretful, and the first scene we have him, he's reminiscing about the friends he's had, that they're gone, long gone. I will admit, this one bad line reading he had where he meets Uncle Sam face to face. He's like, "You did kill for your country. You killed because you liked it. Now just die." Like, I don't think that's Isaac Hayes' fault. I think they made him talk like that. That's the one bad line. He was like, "You just die." That didn't work. But the rest of it, for a guy who's mainly a singer, I think he did actually pretty decent compared to a lot of other people I've seen. Like I said, I like the idea. I like the motif. I like the Tales trying to incorporate stuff into the 4th of July theme. It's pretty decently shot for a lower budgeted movie. The acting from the other people aren't that bad. Uncle Sam, I'm not sure about his voice, but when you saw the zombie look, I actually didn't mind the way he looked. And some of his lines I didn't mind, like the little kids talk to him, "I wanted to be like you." "Well, you have to be dead first. Are you volunteering?" Something about that, I didn't mind that line. I like the ending because this is where they got some nice stunt explosive work. Super spoilers, because the kid leads Uncle Sam out. Isaac Hayes got this cannon that he was using for the 4th of July festival. Shoots once, blows up a bit of the house, and then some good stunt work with a guy on fire, no CGI, doing it for real. I give a tip of the hat to anyone that set themselves up on fire for that period of time. And then Isaac Hayes gets the cannon, another cannonball, shoots, and the guy gets shot, flies back into the house, big explosion. That's a really good stunt action little piece for the movie. I wish more of the movie had those type of set pieces, like Maniac Cop 2. Like Maniac Cop 2, yeah, I wish there was more of that. I don't know how you incorporate that, but like I said, either chase sequences or other bits of that nature. Like I said, that was a cool bit. I don't get the final shot, though. That's another nitpick I have, the final shot, because he's burning all his toys, and then he turns towards his mom, and then the frame slows down, and they put the scary music in it. I guess they're going to assume he's going to turn into, like, his uncle, but that doesn't make any sense. It like, comes out of left field. Like, he led his uncle out and ran off to get his uncle into this trap because he knew his uncle needed to die because he was a bad guy. He understood why his mom and his aunt didn't like it, because his mom was well, not I just yeah, I did be his aunt, because his mom's brother was Sam. And then the brother was married to this girl, so yeah, it'd be his aunt. Like, it just... What does the last shot mean, and why was that the case? And that just seemed out of the blue and wasn't properly set up. So I don't care for the final shot. I wish there was a bit more action or a bit more gore. Like I said, I'm not going to say this is a 5-star slasher film, but fun concept, damn it, cameos, couple decent kills. The whole look of it is a quirky sense of humor. Maybe not as funny as some other Larry Cohen films, like The Stuff or To the Winged Serpent. Granted, he directed and wrote those, while Disney just wrote it. It might not be as successful as Maniac Cop 1 and 2, and I would say I like Maniac Cop 3, despite them disowning it. It might not be as successful as the Maniac Cop films, but I still think it's a fun if you like gimmicky holiday slasher films, it's definitely worth a look. It's fun enough that you wouldn't be that complaining about it. You know me, I complain a lot. So I thought it was a pretty fun, decent time waster. And I mean, 4Ks are pretty expensive, and I don't know if the DVD, the older DVD with the commentaries are in print. So I don't know if I spend that much money to get a copy, but I would be curious to listen to the commentaries one day. If I ever do find a copy. Maybe someone will find it cheap enough. Sure. I would say this did a better job with that than David Arquette did this film called The Tripper, where a guy wore a Ronald Reagan mask. And I would say this was more of a fun slasher film than that one, The Tripper. I just mentioned because that's a guy looking like a president and trying to be about America. I think this is... Because Larry Cohen still has that quirky sense of humor. I think they do a pretty decent job utilizing the 4th of July aspect for a good chunk of it. And like I said, there's some nice gore bits. Like there's a bit where someone's barbecuing for the festivities, they open it up and there's a head being fried there. Like moments like that. And it said Isaac Hayes, may rest in peace. Nice to see him in there. Pretty decent movie. You know, fun enough for what it is. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.